Hey, my name's Andrew. Welcome to my series on things I wish I'd known earlier. I've been creative for a living for about 25 years, and I believe that all people are creative. And I hope that by sharing some of my stories on some of the things I've learned the hard way, that I can help people find a way to flourish in their creative life in a way that took me a little longer because I had to learn everything the absolute hardest way. That's the truth. So here's a quick one. Sometimes people will ask me questions about like, how do I know if I should take this gig or this job, work with these people, work on this project? A wiser person than me taught me this. He said, there's three questions you should always ask. I think he maybe even drew it like a little triangle. I don't remember if it was a triangle, but it might have been. Let's say it was a triangle. And on each point of the triangle, there's a word. And the word, the top is the money and the hang. And for me, it was music, but you could say the work. So let's start with the hang. Are these people that you love to work with? Are these your friends? Are they just good people? Do they treat you well? Are they kind? Do you enjoy being with these people? Are you better at the end of the day? Do they sap the life out of you, or do they give life to you? Up here, is the money good? At the end of the day, are you like, I'm able to pay my bills? It's not all about the money, but we all need money to live. So if this is our job or a part-time job or whatever, is it worth it financially to do this? And then the work, in my case, the music. Do I like making this music? Is it something that gives me joy? And he said, if you've got two out of the three of these things, that's a good gig. If you can get all three, that's a great gig. If you got all three, unless there's something crazy, take the gig. And I get that. I've had some of those 3-point gigs where, man, you're making beautiful music with dear friends and you get paid well. I'm like, man, that's as good as it gets. That's as good as it gets. That's the dream. And those are, unless something is just falling apart in your life or you can't do it, take those gigs. That's the best. And you kind of know, those are no-brainers. The other ones, that's where you're asking the question, is where you've got like the one or two of those things. But these are where you ask the questions. If you're like, okay, I love these people and the money's good, but the music's terrible. Sometimes I'll take those, but I won't take those forever. But sometimes, man, those are fun days because you're like, hey, I love hanging with these guys. I made some good money, and I don't take this work home with me. Those are like days in the studio where you're working on a record and you're like, I know these songs aren't great, but we're going to make them as good as we can, and we're going to give this artist a great record. And sure, this is not my favorite music, but we're going to do a good job, and I'm going to have a great time with my friends. We're going to get paid well, and it's going to be a great day. Those are always fun to take. Those are always fun. And then on the flip side, sometimes you'll have an artist who's just like a young artist or indie artists who are just like I'm an artist who like doesn't make a lot of money as a solo artist, but I make music that my friends like to support. And I think I'm usually somebody that people will play with for free because it's a good hang and the music's fun. And I also do this for a lot of people too. That kind of music where you're like, all right, the music's fun and the hang's great. And we're doing this because it's fun. We're doing this because we do it for free because it's just a good time. And there's a lot of artists that I get to support that way. And I love that. I'll play with these people for free because it's just a joy. And so that's always fun. And then there's the tricky one where you're like, okay, this music's great and the money's great. We get taken care of well, like, oh, I'm staying in a nice hotel or something, but this person treats me terribly or they're just not fun to be around. You could take that gig for a little bit, but like, that's not a career. That is tough. Like that one will not last a long time. That one's soul killing pretty quickly. You could take that gig for a little bit, but that one will wear you out. But you can take it, but have an exit plan. I'll say that. But the truth is, if you've only got one of those are tricky. If you're like, hey, this is a nice guy, but no money and the music's terrible. Yeah, you might do it for a day. You might do it as a favor, but that's not gonna last. If you're like, hey, this music's great, but the guy's a jerk and no money, you're not going to take it. Or, yeah, like great money, this guy's awful and the music's terrible. Not worth it. Not worth it. At the end of the day, that check is not worth cashing. It's better to go work at Hardee's. You know what I mean? You can make better money than doing whatever that work is, than getting treated that badly. And frankly, that's a lesson we all learn the hard way, and I'll probably learn again. Let's be honest. But that's the way to evaluate those questions, I've learned, and that is a really helpful tool, those 3 questions. So yeah, there you go. Hope that's helpful. Now go do something awesome.